Can you believe it? 9 seasoned hikers were discovered dead in the snowy wilds of Russia. Some were barefoot. Some had crushed skulls. And others were missing their eyes and tongues. Their tent was ripped open from the inside, and all their belongings were left untouched. It was as if they had fled from something unseen, something inhuman. This is the true story of the Dyatlov Pass incident, a mystery that has haunted investigators for over 60 years. On January 23, 1959, 10 skilled hikers from the Ural Polytechnic Institute set out on a ski expedition through the frozen wilderness of the Ural Mountains. Igor Dyatlov, just 23, was their fearless leader, super disciplined, totally respected, and really inspiring. Everyone looked up to him. One of the hikers, their goal was to reach Mount Otorten, a name that, in the language of the native Mansi people, means don't go there. Yuri Yudin sadly got sick and had to head back early. It was a bummer for him. He'd be the only one left to share this crazy wild story, right? The remaining 9 pressed on, unaware that they were walking toward one of the darkest mysteries in modern history. The group kept a diary together, filled with laughter, silly inside jokes, and playful teasing. It was like a treasure chest of their fun memories. They snapped tons of photos, smiling, building a cozy snow shelter, and singing fun songs around campfires. Nothing seemed unusual, nothing sinister. But on February 1st, they made camp on the slope of a mountain known as Kholat Shakal, the Mountain of the Dead. A storm rolled in out of nowhere, and suddenly it was freezing. Like, seriously bone-chilling, at 30 degrees. Can you believe that? It's wild, right? What really happened that night? No one knows, just the mystery they left behind. It's wild, right? When the group didn't return, rescue teams quickly scrambled into the mountains to find them. They were really worried, 2 weeks later, they finally stumbled upon this tent, half buried in snow, and totally torn open from the inside. What a wild sight, right? It was like something out of a movie. You could just feel the mystery hanging in the air. The hikers' shoes, coats, and gear were all still there, just waiting for them, like loyal friends ready for the next adventure. The footprints in the snow were creepy, right? Bare footprints, and some just in socks. They stumbled away from the tent, lost, totally confused, and fading into the thick forest. 2 bodies were found near a campfire, tucked under a big cedar tree. They were barefoot, wearing only their underwear, with their hands and faces burned, as if they had clawed at something in the dark. 3 more were spotted between the tree and the tent, frozen mid-crawl, like they were desperately trying to escape back to safety. It was honestly a wild sight. The last 4 weren't found until months later, buried deep under the snow, with injuries that left everyone scratching their heads in confusion. One hiker ended up with a fractured skull, while another suffered a crushed chest, like they were hit by something way more powerful than any person could ever be. One woman was missing her eyes, and another her tongue. It was eerie, right? But here's the twist. There were no signs of a struggle, no footprints except their own. What could have happened? Their skin had turned this weird orange color, and their hair was totally grey. Tests later showed some weird traces of radiation on their clothes. Seriously, radiation, in the middle of nowhere, like a remote mountain range. What's going on here? The official report claimed their deaths were caused by this strange, unknown force. Crazy, right? But seriously, what kind of crazy force just wipes everything away, leaving no clues or answers? It's wild, right? The world went wild with speculation. Some folks were saying it might have been a military test that went sideways. Maybe secret parachute mines, or even chemical weapons. Can you believe it? Others whispered of aliens, KGB assassins, or even psychological breakdowns caused by infrasound, low-frequency waves that can drive people insane. The local Mansi tribesmen believed the hikers had disturbed a sacred place and that the mountain spirits had taken their vengeance. One investigator even noted that their expressions were of pure terror, but the truth remained frozen, buried beneath layers of snow and silence. The radiation evidence was never fully explained. It was discovered that some of the hikers worked in secret industries tied to nuclear research, but this connection was buried in classified files. That same night, military planes were zooming over the area. Pretty wild, huh? It was like something out of a movie. It gets even creepier. Some of the rescuers ended up getting sick and sadly passed away from these strange illnesses. Just so unsettling, don't you think? It really makes you wonder what happened there, right? The Soviet government wrapped things up super quick, locking away all the files in just a few weeks. Can you believe it? The official cause of death. They called it an unknown compelling force. And just like that, the Dyatlov Pass turned into this eerie, forbidden ground. Spooky, right? Years later, new teams returned, buzzing with excitement and ready to uncover amazing discoveries. Scientists proposed that a snow slab avalanche might explain the panic, a sudden collapse of snow that could trigger confusion and lead to hypothermia. However, critics argued that an avalanche couldn't have caused such massive internal injuries without any external damage. Some folks were buzzing about weird infrared lights in the sky that night. Were they military flares or something way weirder? Modern forensic analysis of the bodies revealed stress fractures similar to those found in car crash victims, but the traces of radiation remained unexplained. Can you believe it? Even after more than 60 years of digging into this, no theory really seems to cover everything. It's wild, right? It's like the mountain is just holding on to its secrets, keeping everything to itself, you know. To this day, hikers who visit the Dyatlov Pass describe an overwhelming silence. No birds, no animals, just the sound of wind echoing between the snow-covered peaks. Locals still avoid the mountain after dark. The pass is now named after Igor Dyatlov, the young man who led his friends into the unknown. Some folks believe that the spirits still roam the ridge, retracing their last steps. They're out there looking for the tent, the fire, and that warmth they never got to feel. It's kinda haunting, right? The mountain stood quiet, while the wind whisked away their desperate cries for help. Their footprints fade each winter, only to return when the snow melts. A ghostly reminder of that night in 1959. 9 souls vanished beneath the stars. What's the deal with Dyatlov Pass? Seriously, what really happened there?